official D1 race of the Season 5. I'm your host today, joined to you with original vlog team. If you'd like to say hello.
Everybody welcome.
And today I'm bringing you, very happy to bring to you first round of the Division 1 Championship, World Championship, the first official game. So is there anything you'd like to add, Reggie?
It's certainly going to be a very interesting season. We got a lot of new changes we are going to talk about later in the stream before the race. But first, let's have a look at the track for today. So we are in Lukov. This is the Czech Grand Prix. It's a fairly short track, only 4 kilometers, around 4 kilometers. We have 14 corners, if I remember right.
16.
And it's the 16 corners, thank you. So we are going to have lap times around 1 minute and 2 seconds for Division 1 today. We saw lots of drivers in practice, and the times were around that mid twos to low for some drivers. Let's look at the difficult corners for this track.
So, speaking of the difficult turns, we have turn 1 right at the beginning. This will be a very interesting turn because if you brake too late, brake too early, or even take the turn too shallow, you will ruin your lap in some way or another, because you will either corner cut or you will either run wide, where the track limits are very unforgiving. Then we have turn 7, which from first glance it doesn't look difficult, but when you're actually driving the turn, when you're in dirty air, when you have all these factors to consider, it's actually not as easy as it looks. And then coming into turns 10 through 12, this is possibly one of the most difficult parts of the track. You can either take it very cautiously, but you will lose time, or you can go for a gamble where you can take it very aggressively, but you have to be somewhat careful at the same time because the track limits around this part of the track are very unforgiving. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Reggie?
I agree with everything. Turn 10 to 12 is especially important to get right because of the long straight that comes after, and also the long right corner, which is probably another very difficult corner of this track, which you need to stay very to the inside to not lose time, but also you need to think of the last chicane, which is very difficult to get right with the triple. I think right, left, right. So we're gonna see a lot of drivers probably messing up that in qualifying, also in the race, especially with the dirty air, which we sent you wide into turn 13. But yeah, turn 10 to 12 is certainly one to get right to have a good lap time.
Speaking of lap times, we managed to record the 10 fastest drivers from D1, and here they are with their lap times at the moment. So looking at this list, we can see a bunch of very fast drivers, notably Mark Anthony, who managed to set an 02.245 during the recorded period. Notably as well, ROBLOX Gaming, who I personally didn't think would be that quick round here, but lo and behold, I was wrong. So I'm sorry for that, Astro. Is there anyone that catches your eye, Reggie?
Yes, certainly GTS, coming from Division 3, is already P4 in practice, so it's certainly going to be interesting to see what he can do in the race. He's on a 2.4, so that's a very good time. But everyone is pretty much close to each other.
Yeah,
so
very close to each other. It should be quite an interesting. Should be quite interesting for qualifying at least. One person that I'd also like to keep an eye out for Slat Eyes, he really brought it to Andy during the final races of season 4, but unfortunately he lost it due to bad internet. Hopefully we don't see the same thing happen here. And
Yeah, indeed.
indeed, moving on to our final topic, the race strategies. So as we can see here, it's looking like it could be a two-stopper. It could be, but there might be people who are willing to take that gamble for the one stop. I know a lot of people in the Division 2 race did a one stop. So who knows? Maybe someone took a couple of notes here and there from the D2 race. Maybe they didn't. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, with the experience of the Division 2 race, it's probably looking to be a one-stop race. But of course, here in D1 we have 40 laps compared to the 30 seats of D2. So we have more tracks, more laps, which make going for a two-stop more viable, as you have more time to make up the time lost in the pits, which is around 19 seconds. So we're going to see if someone is going to try the gamble and go for a two-stop here.
We will have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyways, would you like to? Is there anything you want to talk about now, Reggie? Seeing as we have about 10 minutes before.
I think if he's ready, we are joined in the commentary box for a rapid interview by Wolf, a team bots of Chaos Racing. Sorry,
Chaos Racing. Yep.
So yes.
Like to
so if he.
Hello.
Hello.
So
how are you doing,
Wolf? So
Yes.
you have a brand new entry in Division 1. You are bringing two interesting drivers, to be honest. We have, if I'm not wrong, you have Dakar and Dude, which are very famous names, especially Dakar, coming from ION Championship and bringing his debut here in FRL. Also Dude with a pretty dominant performance in Division 3 West last season. So what are you expecting from your drivers?
I'm not really expecting too much, to be honest. Dot, I am expecting his free space to be quite good. Unfortunately, Dake couldn't come today, so one I am expecting from Dake is that he tries to stay consistent as he is in Ion. So wish both drivers luck for the season. So yeah.
So, as you said, Dakar is not coming today, and Dude, I think, is coming pretty late, I think. So, let's see if he can join also the race. But thanks for joining us today, and good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Right then.
So, we are now 7 minutes to the qualifying. Let's talk about the changes for this season.
Yes.
We have lots of different changes, mainly the cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we have brand new cars inspired by the 2022 design, made by Wesley, of course. Very good looking. Also, talking about cars, so let's look at the teams. We have fairly new names in the Division 1 grid, but also some OGs, as firstly... Firstly, a Racing Star. I think it's a very famous name here in the FRL community. And his lineup is made by Dustin and Andy. So we have the last season driver champion driving for Racing Star. The livery is actually pretty good for me. Red, yellow and red. So looks, red, black and yellow. So looks very good. And let's see, Andy is certainly, we know he has the base to win some races. Dustin doesn't look like to be in much form for now, but I think he's done a 2.7 in the practice pre-race for now, so maybe he can be there for the points. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see what they can do in this season. Also, another name already seen is, of course, Saigon. So they are coming back with the same lineup. Yabe and Zero are still racing alongside. They haven't had the best season, the last one, but they're looking to be stronger than ever. So what do you think they can do in this season? Another two names we see again are Ferran and Starblotzian. They're both keeping the same lineup as last season, except for Ferran, of course, who is Bacon's Racing. He's the D2 champion, so he has great pace, surely. He has done a couple of reserves in the last season and he did pretty well, so he certainly can repeat those performances in this season, if not even improve. As another name is Scuderia Squadra. They're still staying in D1 for this season. The lineup is very interesting. They dust Diesel, so again he's racing in D1. He joined mid-season and did very well. So fair play to him. Let's see if he can improve it also in this season. And Yoto, I think Yoto is a pretty interesting driver. He is from D3 and he has done very good races towards the end of the season, so I think he has good pace to do well also here. And looking at the new teams, who do you think is gonna be at the top at least for the start of the season?
That's a tough one. I think very, very difficult. I think due to just Andy being there alone, I think Racing Star, although they've never made a debut in D1, although they've been, I think because of Andy alone, they'll have a very good chance. Though I wouldn't count out someone like Chaos Racing Team that had a stellar rookie season, and when Declare's available, I think that would just bolster their ranks a bit better. So that's what I think. Who do you think?
Yeah, I think Andy's still gonna be at the top, but the competition is very close, so I think we're gonna see some drivers challenging him. Also, looking at the new names from joining, we have Brianza coming up from D2, joining the D1 field under the Full Green brand with the lineup of Carson and Blaine. So of course that's my team, so I have a kind of a bias here, but I think they can do really good, as Carson did a great season in Division 3 East and played also a runner-up in D2, I think. He had a great pace, but unfortunately missed on some opportunities to clinch the title last season, but I trust them. I think they can do a great job here. But talking about the other teams, we have Envision Racing with Mark and JTS. Also another very interesting team. Mark is very fast in the qualifying. He lacks a bit of race pace for now, but if he can put it together, he probably can be there at the top. And closing this talk, we have Scuderia España and Archer Racing Team joining the Division 1 field with a very interesting livery by Archer. To be honest, with the Chase Briscoe NASCAR livery, I really like it. And also the lineup, we have Rhythms doing a comeback from season 3, I think, into the FRL scene, and Astro, which is a very fast driver, so he can do well when he's in a good pace. And I think for now he's P3 in this practice before the race, so I think he can be doing we are actually starting, so we can go at the track now.
Yes.
So, of course, dynamic weather. Let's see if it's gonna be dry for the qualifying or if you're gonna see some rain. Oh, another big topic if we have the time to discuss it. Here we go. They're now starting. I think we have 19 drivers, so only one seat is left.
Mm-hmm.
So fairly good, fairly full grid here.
Very,
See
very
7
nice turnout.
seconds of intermission. Yeah. I'm not sure who's the team who's lacking a driver. I think it's Chaos Racing. Looking fast. Yes. Okay, and we are in the way in the qualifying. The weather is clear, so we're not gonna have rain for now. All the drivers are going on track now, and that is the first one out, I think. Okay, the first one out is in the other Scuderia Squadra car, which I can't find her now. But let's see. Also
Yoto.
important to have some space here.
Yes, track position is very important. Very important. So we'll see how it handles or how it turns out. Meanwhile, we're on board with Yoto as he's on his out lap at the moment. So he will be the first to start his lap.
Yeah. It's going around turn 3 or turn 14 now.
Through the sling
Of
chicane.
course, now taking. I think we can stay on board with him into turn 1. That's a great line.
Oh,
Great speed carry into turn 2.
Pardon me.
Kite wide here. Into turn 3. I think he went a bit wide, so that's not best of sector 1s, but still carried a lot of speed. It's powerful for now. Let's look at the other drivers.
Meanwhile, DSF
coming to turn
has
5.
Fastest
Yes.
to sector 1.
So that's a good sector 1 by Sved. And look, I think he's staying purple for now. And let's look at Yoto. He's still doing a decent lap.
Yep,
Very conservative around the hairpin. That's a good exit here. Sector 2, of course, is purple.
See how he handles.
Coming to turn 10.
Very nice.
This is a great line. Yes. This is a great sector 3 for him. Let's see what he can do. He stays actually purple, so that's a great second sector by him.
Yes.
Look around the final chicane onto the line. Is it going to be a good lap? It's a 2:06.
Meanwhile, Andy's gone
great
purple through sector 2. So let's jump on board with him.
Last chicane turn 14, 15 and 16 for him.
Oh,
coming to the line. He despawns actually. Yeah, he got blocked.
His line.
Yeah, he got blocked by the cars ahead. That's why.
Meanwhile,
so that's some spacing problem.
Meanwhile, we're on board with Dust Dizzle right now, who jumped up from D2 midway through the season, or through season 4, and he managed to hold his own fairly well. So let's see what he can do right here. Unless he's on his outlap, of course.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I think no one is on a lap.
No.
Actually, yeah, no one.
No one at the moment.
Actually, Insane Sack coming to the line. I think this is a lap. Yes, he goes pole. Wow, what a lap!
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that is a great lap by Insane Sack. Let's see if someone can challenge it.
Blaine and... No, never mind.
Yeah, Sved is now closing his first sector. He went purple before. I think he couldn't cut it. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're on board with Jitame, aka Zero Denial. So let's see what he can do through here. If he's on his lap, that is.
Yeah, Astro goes P7.
Meanwhile, Yoto's set a purple sector 1. Yoto's
he's
really
pushing like hell. He wants that position back.
He really wants that. I think he'll get it.
Ooh, wide.
Ooh, just a little
wide into turn 7. We talk about it. Coming at the hairpin. Ooh, that's a corner cut.
Yeah.
And his lap time is done.
We're on board with Dust Dizzle, who's coming through the exact same sector now. Pretty well taken. Very nicely done. He's improving. So let's see what he can do.
Zlatko's P12.
P12. See, that's a
Yes.
surprise. That's a surprise because he was very promising during the practice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
And Gassen goes
Andy's...
P4. That's a nice
wow.
lap.
Meanwhile,
Ooh, that's
Andy's...
improves to
wow.
Andy goes
Wow.
pole position.
Very impressive lap. Will Andy be able to get his first pole of the season rather than be robbed at the last second, I wonder?
You're gonna see that's not a safe lap time, to be honest. We saw some force in the practice.
Oh no,
So
of
I
course,
don't think he can stay calm for now. But
we'll just have to wait.
let's see. Maybe Yoto. He was already purple before.
Yes.
I think Yoto has a pretty good pace to challenge for that pole position.
That's true. Meanwhile, looking at Ayor, who's only give me just a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ayor's just coming out of the pits right now. Who else is on a lap right now?
Sved is doing a lap now.
Yeah, Frobloxian jumps up to P7.
Okay, Sved, last chicane, turn 16 to the line. He's going green, and he goes P5. That's
Very
a fairly
nice.
good lap. Yeah.
It has to be said.
Blaze goes P18, so he stays last. The only one yet to do a lap time is Jetemaka 0.
Oh,
And actually,
his
Dude
lap.
has just joined.
Will he be?
Yeah.
The question
So
is, will he be able to set a lap in the 3 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, he's already. I think he's already in the pits, so he's ready to go racing. So we have a full grid. This is nice to see. As Insane Saka has gone purple in the first sector. Sorry for interrupting, but this is a very good first sector by him. Is in the slipstream of Bacons. In the traffic, as there is no slipstream yet.
Yeah.
Into turn 7. Wow, what a great line by
was a
Insane Saka.
lovely
This is
line.
a very good lap. Command happening. 0 goes P4. For now, it's
Very nice.
0.6.
Oh, he goes green.
And he goes green in sector. This is a great lap.
This is a very nice lap.
Turn
Very
12.
Nice. Turn 10.
Great
turn
exit.
Very nice.
Into turn 13. Very tight. At the chicane. Very good. Onto the line. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
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 That's a 0-0-0 gap.
Meanwhile, Astro's
he got the same lap time as Andy.
That's impressive. Meanwhile, Astro's...
And Astro gone purple, yeah.
Yep. Keeps it clean through there. Very nice. How will he take... Ooh, just a bit wide. Yep,
no.
He's not happy with that.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Let's look at Zlata is on the line. I think he's starting his lap. Yes, he's starting his lap now.
Yep.
Anyone on that turn? Sved, I think, is going green in the first sector. He has some traffic ahead, so
P6.
He's going around turn 7.
Ooh, no.
Ooh, Konekats.
Yep.
Yeah, he still has one chance.
Slat doesn't improve through his sector 1.
Yeah.
So.
And he's in the pits. Sorry. Sved is now on his out lap. I don't think anyone is on a front lap for now.
Slat hasn't improved twice in a row. This isn't looking very good for him. Hopefully he's able to make something happen here, but who knows?
Yeah, that's not a very good situation for Ferran, as they're actually P16 and P15.
Meanwhile, Endy's not satisfied with the gap that he has, so he's what little gap he has, so he's going out on another lap, I think.
The non-existence. Yeah, Insane Saka is not gonna have time to do another lap, so that's his qualifying done. And I think the only one who can challenge Andy for now is Yoto.
Quite possibly. But he's also on an outlap at the moment.
Okay, Fed starts his lap. Is on around turn 3 now.
Yep.
That's a very good line. Let's see into turn 4. Fairly
nice.
wide. He's gonna lose a bit of time here. Let's look at the first sector. He's not improving first sector. Around turn 4, great line.
Very nice.
And he's not improving his first sector. Around turn 4. That's a very good line also by him. Astro goes P12. So he's going to snatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um.
Lots of drivers on the line now. We have lots of traffic, to be honest. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and the checker flag is on track.
Mm-hmm.
So the first guy to take it is Strat. So that's his qualifying over. As look as Fed is going green in the second sector. Only the last chicane. Ooh, that's very close to a corner cut. Let's look on the line.
Ooh,
It's going
improve.
P5. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're on board with Blazed.
Okay, Carson has gone green in the first sector, Blaine, and Yavasomis has gone green in the first sector, but Yavasomis is gonna go red in the second sector. So let's look at the two Brianza cars here. They're pretty much at the same place in the track. So they're following each other. They're both going red in the second sector.
Oh.
And Carson corner cut, so he's gonna stop his time. Let's look at Blaine. Will improve his P13 position. Around the last chicane, he's going to the line.
No, he
and doesn't improve.
That. I guess that concludes qualifying then.
So we have Andy back on pole with the same lap time as in Saki. Is gonna be alongside him into P2 in the first row. Then we have second row. We have Yoto and Zero Denial. At third row we have Sved and Dust. Then fourth row, all in vision with JTS and Jasper. Fifth row we have Pro and Carson closing the top 10. And coming into outside the top 10 we have Doge, Astro, Blaine, Yavsomis, Dustin, Rice, Bacons, Slats, and Chaos Chipri with Blades and Dada closing the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Quick look at the strategies, if we can.
Yes.
With 10 seconds to go. Yeah. Someone is still yet to spawn. Yeah, here comes Carson. Yeah, Andy also is still not in grid. Here he is. Okay, let's look at the tires. Everyone on mediums. Apart from that. And the lights are on. 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway now in Lukov for Season 5 in this Federal World Championship. That's a good start by Andy. Let's look at Yoto into being 3. It's going to challenge Insane Stack into turn 1. No. Let's look at Insane Stack. It's very close to Andy. And he's going to stay behind for now. There's a very close battle behind for P5 and also pretty much every position. I think everyone is going clean out of turn 5. That's a very tricky in the first lap.
Very
and
tricky.
Andy's already running away.
Very.
Half a second the gap on Insane Stack.
Mm-hmm. He did say to me many times before that he planned to run away, but we'll see how well the rest of the field responds. But for now, it looks like Andy has this under control.
Yeah, so let's look at Dustin has gone purple in the first sector, so that's the fastest lap, the fastest start of this Grand Prix. Is going up into P12. Actually, Insane Stack is still following Andy, and is also putting some gap into P3, which is JTS. That's a great start by JTS. It's gone up into P3. And he goes fast lap.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Improved by Astro. Astro is gone P9. So Sved now takes P3 on JTS, and JTS is going to be challenged. No, sorry, he's challenging Sved for that podium, and he goes P3, but that's very close. Sved has gone slightly wide there.
Meanwhile, in the back, it looks like we have a, I want to say, 5-car fight for P5.
Yeah, indeed.
So
that's a very close battle.
I'm sorry for my screen in advance, by the way, but
it's very laggy.
Yeah, very, very bouncy. But
look at GTS is only half a second behind Andy. Wow. And what happened to Insane Stack? He's gone down into P7. I think that's a very big mistake by him.
It must have been. He
So
must
yeah,
have been a victim to turn 7.
yeah. It's actually not a big mistake because he only lost 5 tenths, but consider how close this is. That's a big mistake. And Zero takes the first lap of the race. It's a 3.1.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Let's look. Yoto goes P2. It's going to be 1 second behind Andy for now. JTS is going to pass Pro into actually P4 as Zero passing back. I think, and Jasper, I think, has done a poor start. He's down into P20. 9
hello.
seconds behind.
The weather's changed. It's gone from being a clear race
Oh, you're right.
to slightly overcast. Could this?
Yeah, this is overcast.
Could this be could this cause things? Could this stir things up, I wonder?
We are gonna see live as let's look at the gap. Yoto is Yoto big mistake.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it's gonna be down into P6, maybe even P7 if Carson keeps the momentum going to P13 and P14. And Andy, fastest lap of the race is a 3.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's look at the fight for P7. This is very close. Let's look at actually Doji to the inside is gonna pass Carson up to P8. And Zero now is going into P2 and he's gonna try to catch Andy here. The gap is 2 seconds and 1.9 now, so slightly better exit out of turn 4 here.
Meanwhile, I'd like to point out Astro. He's had a great start. He went from what was it, P9, P10, or something, and now he's in P3. So well done to him. He's had a great start of the race.
Also, something must have happened to Blaze. He is down in last with 15 seconds on Andy. So not sure what happened there. As I think a mistake by Carson has lost 5 positions. He's down to P15. As now we have a fierce battle for the last point. Now he's flat into P12, sorry. As Fed also is losing a lot of ground. He's down to P14. So this is a very close battle. I think Blaine corner-cutted there.
He must have done.
This is actually... Yeah, this is a very close one. As Dustin is up to P6. That's a great start by him. And looking very good also for Racing Star with P1 and P6 finished for now.
I would not be, if the race ended as it is right now, if I was any of the top 6, I would not be complaining. Meanwhile, I've just noticed Dud started dead last, but he's already found his way up to P9. Very good start from the
great recovery
from the former Division 3 driver. But then again, as he was the champion last season, it was kind of expected of him, and I'm happy to see that he's doing well and holding his own.
Mistake by Zero, sorry to interrupt, but mistake by Zero in third 13 is gone down to P5. And Astro now is trying to chase Andy.
He's got a little bit of work to do, but I think he can do it.
Yeah, and let's look at Dad. He's half a second behind Dodge, who is battling with JTS for P7. So let's see if he can catch up a bit to the cars ahead. As Fed and Carson are battling behind them for P10. Also, Insane Saka is in the tail of Fro for that P3 position. Coming to turn 10. Great line by both of them. Insane Saka slightly to the inside. This is going to be a great run by Insane Saka. I think he's going to pass shortly.
Very shortly. You could almost say, after his mistake, that was an insane recovery by Insane Saka.
Yes. Insane driving by Insane Saka there.
Yes.
As now Zero is going to try to pass him before. As Andy is still running away. So he's keeping that 2.4 gap now. Let's see if we can increase it. Or if they behind will catch up. It's very close battle also for the last points. As we have a 5-way battle for P13. So this is a very interesting thing to see. Now let's look at that. It's gone up to P8.
This has turned into a three-way fight for P7. Will JT be able to hold both of them off? That's what I want to know. Very nice line by that.
Yeah, and I think 0 is gonna pass in Sensak. This is a very close. 0 goes up to P4, I think. No, not yet. They're gonna stay side by side into turn 1, and 0 takes the P4. So good job by him. As Carsten has done a mistake into turn 1, he's lost a couple of places here. Also, Dan has lost back the position from dodge, so he's back into P9.
But he's far from out of that three-way fight. He's only 0.2 behind. So it's
mistake by Sensak. Sorry to interrupt, but I think he has gone very wide into turn 4 and it's being passed by Dustin. So Dustin is up to P5. That's a great recovery by Dustin.
But the question is, will Dustin be able to hold him off? And if he does, how long can he do it for?
He's actually kind of running away from Sensaka now, as Sensaka has gone slightly wide out of turn 11 and also into 13, but GTS, Dodge, and that are coming behind with great momentum. So are we going to see a 5-way fight for P5?
Quite possibly. Bear in mind, they're all very close, and seeing as JT is pretty much within slip range of Dustin, he's going to bring Doge and Dud along with him. So this could get very interesting.
Yeah, indeed. It's actually the gap between Andy and Astro is pretty much staying constant. So that's a great pace by Astro staying there, as they're actually gap in the field.
Yes, they are. Meanwhile, it looks like there could be a fight between Fro and Zero brewing before too long. But we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, also forced retirement of the race. Rice is out of the race. So we are down to 19 runners. Yeah.
That's unfortunate to see.
So let's look at the battle for P12. The last point is now between Kassen and Yavisomis. Let's look at them into turn 1. So Kassen pretty clean. Doge with the corner cut. He's going to lose a ton of time. Maybe even the position on Carson. Not yet.
Not quite, but Carsten is on his gearbox. So we'll just have to see.
And that has gone back into P8. He's just behind GTS. Let's see if he can take that P7. And he does, actually.
Very nice.
Out of turn 7. Coming to turn 8. They're pretty much side by side. And that takes P7 for a moment. And GTS is going to stay ahead.
Though that does appear to have a slightly better line through this part of Sector 3 than JT.
Yeah, I think he's going to pass here. Let's look out of turn 16 into the line. And that is going to take that P7. Sved has retired. That's very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. That's going to cause massive implications for Starbloxian, pardon me.
Yeah. Still with a P3 for now by Frost. That's still a good result for him, but not for the team. So I think not anything happening right now. Dad and GTS are still battling, and they are catching up to JTS and Insane Sakaed. Sorry, Dustin and Insane Sakaed.
Both almost within a second of Insane Zack. So we could see another 3. Oh, that massive mistake.
That's a mistake. Yeah, I think he's gonna be challenged by Slat. Here comes Slat around the outside.
Very wide line by Slat though. Very wide.
Yeah. Let's see side by side on the line. That is gonna keep that P8.
For now, at least. But Slap will apply the pressure now, because he knows that he can pass Dud. But the question is
Ooh,
when.
that's slightly wide. We think Insensaka's passed Dustin 4P5, so that's a response for him. As Zero is catching up with Fro 4P3 and the podium battle.
Things all of a sudden
Also another
went
battle.
from very quiet to quite interesting in a matter of a couple of laps.
Yeah, this is how fast he can change here in the Ferrari World Championship. As Insensaki is still keeping that P5 on Dustin for now. Ooh, that's a mistake by
corner
Fro.
cut by Fro. The first of our pitters is
Yeah.
Andy.
Ooh, Andy's into the pits.
From
We have the first pit.
Astro follows.
Yeah, this is very interesting to see. So I think Astro is covering, and Dustin also is into the pits. So we have the two racing star cars doing the double stack.
Speaking of pit strategy.
Let's look at the tires.
Yes.
Arts. That's arts for everyone in the pits.
Speaking of strategy, could we see a one-stopper here, or do you think this is all part of Andy's plan? Do you think he'll go for the two-stopper?
I think Andy could be going for the two-stop, but with the rain chances, I think we are gonna see some drivers trying to go as long as possible to see if it's gonna rain or not. As actually, now that I notice, that is on arts. So it's gonna be even faster with the fresher medium tires if he goes for a one stop. So
that's true.
This is very interesting. Also, let's look now. Zero is into the lead of the race. He's gonna stay out, so he's not gonna respond. As Insensaki is gonna respond to Dustin into the pits. GTS is staying out. Dodge is into the pits too. And I think everyone else is staying out for now. And yeah, we have only Dodge and Insensaki into the pits. They both going to arts, so they're probably looking for a one stop.
Or they could be going for a. They could be trying to make these hards last as long as they can, and then they could maybe pull off a two-stop and swap to the hards for an aggressive finish. But who knows?
Yeah, and now that is back into the gearbox of JTS. Is gonna try to take back that P7, which is P2 now, with the pit stop, as Andy has gone purple in the third sector. But he has some traffic ahead. Let's see if he's gonna be affected by it. The gap with Astor is still 3.2, so Astor has gained some time out of the pits as Zero is into the pits. Carsten also into the pits. So lap 14 actually, they're gonna go into the arts, I think. Yes, they do. So now we have a lead battle actually between GTS and Dadwi Corner Cats. We're gonna lose a bit of time here. Yeah. Astro has passed Blaine, I think. No, not yet. Actually, I read it wrong. Sorry. So Andy has gone purple again in the first sector. That's interesting.
But then again, it's Andy. He's always fast.
Yeah. Let's look at that. He's still behind GTS. I think he's losing a ton of time right now because he should be on the fastest tire, which is the hard compared to the war mediums of GTS ahead. GTS, I think, is going long. Let's see if he's gonna pit this lap. He's staying out. So that's a long.
Very interesting.
Long stint by GTS. I think he's waiting for the rain, to be honest.
I think
as Andy goes,
up, yeah.
Blaine is into the pits. So we have another medium runners going to the arts, I think. Yes, he does.
Which leaves the only medium runners now as Iowa, JTS, and
Jasper, yes, and Jeffersonis.
Yep.
So Blaine is exiting the pits in P18, so down in last. Let's see if he can recover some time here.
I think he will. He's on a fresh set of hard tires compared to 2 or 3 lap old hards for a couple of other drivers.
Ooh, that's a mistake by Carson. Sorry. He's gonna be passed by Dust and Dodge. So that's a big mistake by him. He was blocked by Bacons. I think he pitted already. So that's a good recovery. And JTS is into the pits. So now that of course is staying out is on Arts. Let's look at GTS is going for the Arts. Yes, he does. And Astro has lost some time on Andy. He's now 3.8 seconds behind. So yeah, we are seeing basically only one stopper for now.
On paper, yes. Meanwhile, Slat Eyes and Fro are going at it with Dustin and Insane Sack not too far behind. So we could see a 4-way fight for P6 in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, Astro is gaining on Andy. He's gaining 1 second in his lap. I think Andy has done a mistake because he's behind Yavesomis in the dirtier. And he's gonna stay in the dirtier as Yavesomis is staying out. He's on mediums actually, so Yave is doing 18 laps on this medium. Very interesting.
Yeah, very.
I think he may be going for softs. If he does, it's gonna be crazy, but he might be pulling that off. Let's look now. Andy's right behind him. The gap with Astro is 2.4, so this is actually helping us.
Yeah, he's closed that gap down a considerable amount. It's back to where it was pre-pit stop. So Astro's having a very good race.
Yeah, here goes Andy. So Andy has passed Yave for P2, which is actually the lead of the race. And I think now Astro is gonna deal with Yave. Let's look at what he can do now. Yave is going to the pits, so that's lucky for Astro, as he's gonna have clear track ahead of him.
That means now all who's left to pit is Dud, if I'm not mistaken. Who's going through Sector 1 right now, a little shaky, with Andy only 1.7 behind, so you can really see that those tires are starting to lose their grip now, and Dud must be feeling it, surely.
As Blaine has retired from the race. So we are down to 17 drivers. We have a close battle for P5 actually. We have 4 drivers. Frostat, Insane, Sack, and Dustin. So let's see who is going to come out of top of this battle, as Andy is stuck behind that, and Astro is for the first time under the 2 seconds gap. So it's now 2.1 because Andy has the slipstream of that. Let's look at Andy on the onboard, if he's going to pass that shortly. Yeah, he's taking way tighter line thanks to the better tires, but he's still behind, so Astro is still gaining 1.8. We might see a battle for the lead here. 1.7, the gap is coming down and down. Look at Andy, he's still behind that. Look at Astro, 1.7. And I think Andy's going to pass now. That, yes, he does.
He does. The question is...
that is still battling with him.
But the interesting thing is, when will Dud pit? Because he's going to have to at some point, but when and to what?
I think he's going to pit in around 5 laps for mediums. I think that's basically the inverse strategy of everyone else. Let's look now. He's actually going to cut turn 16. So now Astro has to deal with the slipstream. He needs to pass him as soon as possible if he doesn't want to lose a lot of time on Andy now. The gap on Andy is 1.8.
I think he'll be able
and now he's losing.
Yeah.
He's losing some time now. Ooh, that into the wall!
Ooh,
That's a crash by that. That's massive for him.
that'll
He's gonna
be.
lose. Yeah, he's gonna lose around 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's
So that's
painful.
lucky for Astro, but very unlucky for that now. Yeah, I think it's gonna be in P15 after this mistake. I think it was more of a control issue again.
Yeah, he was plagued by those towards the end of season 4. Hopefully, it's not too much of a thing this season, but that's not a good look for him right now.
So now the gap with Andy and Astro are 2.1 seconds. So pretty far, but not much.
This is
So if Andy does a mistake, we are gonna see a battle for the lead here.
this is probably the closest Astro's been to him all race. Let's see if he can close that gap even further. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
It looks like there's a fight between Throw and Slack going on at the moment as they go through the S's in Sector 1. So let's pay attention to that for a little while.
As I don't think anything notable is happening right now. The only one yet to beat is, of course, that.
Meanwhile, further down the field, it does look like there's a fight going on between Bacon's, Carsten, and Doge, possibly. More so Carsten and Bacon's than Carsten and Doge, but we'll see how this ensues.
The gap is now 2 seconds between Astro and Andy. Astro in 1.9. So I think Andy's done a slight mistake. Let's look at the gap now, 1.8. So it just needs 4/10 for a slipstream. As now 0 is attacking that for P3. I don't think anything else is happening right now. We have TTS and Insane Sack still battling out there.
With Dustin
for
not
P7.
too far behind himself either. So, very interesting. We're
Also,
seeing lots of battles around the field.
Also, battle for the points. We have pretty much a complete group from P10 to P16. So a mistake by one of the drivers can cost the points, which are 3 for P10, 2 for P11, and 1 for P12. So we're going to see how this will turn out as Katzen is actually trying to take P10 on Bacon's here. Let's look out of turn 16. Is going to have the slipstream on the straight. They're pretty much even. Look at turn 1. And Bacon is going to keep the position. Actually, no, Carson is going to pass. So that's P10.
Oh, but Bacon's has a very nice line through turn 3. He manages to fight back and keep the position.
Ooh, Blades is out of the race. So that's another DNF. We are down to 16 drivers.
Yeah. Meanwhile, JTS and Insane are still fighting very strong. Very close battle between the two.
Yeah. Ooh, here he goes. Actually, Insane passed JTS for a moment. Ooh, that is into the pits. So we have the last bit of this race.
Where will he come out though?
I think he's going to be down in last because of that contact with the wall. But let's see. Yeah, it's going to be way down in last. So that's very unfortunate for him. So, yeah, no points for him today. Unless something big happens ahead. But yeah, the gap to the lead is 2.4. So they're still there, but not quite for an attack yet. But still 15 laps to go. So nothing is over.
Anything can happen in those 15 laps. Oh, Andy must have made a massive mistake. That gap has come right down.
Ooh. Yeah.
And
So
now,
we have a battle for the lead now. Andy goes to the inside, try to break the slipstream. But Aster is gonna take some of it. 8 tenths into turn 1. He's gonna come a little up with the dirty air 1 second now. Let's see. On board with Astro, taking very good lines.
very
Kinda wide
nicely
here
done.
into 5. Yeah. Because of the dirty air, of course, he's gonna slightly wide into 5, but he's gonna have the slipstream out of turn 4. That's a
Very
great
nicely
line,
done.
very risky. Yeah, Astro is doing all the track he can. Let's
But
look
yeah,
into turn 7. Wow, Astro.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
Astro
Andy's
driving
still
very
managing
aggressively.
to pull away, even despite the mistake and the fact that Astro has slipped. So
Yeah, but Dirty Air is so powerful that he's losing a ton of the ground. But if he keeps that gap out of turn 13, he may have the slipstream. No. So that's a good defense by Andy.
very good driving.
But he's gonna still be there 1.5. So nothing is over.
Exactly.
And I think we're gonna have some
Ooh,
lap situation here.
Did he go wide?
Yeah. He's lost half a second.
But yeah, speaking of which, we might see the first lapped car of Division 1, which I never thought I'd hear myself say. I never thought I'd hear
Jasper.
anybody say.
Yeah. And let's look at that. He's on mediums. Going green in the first, second sector. Will he put a fast lap? No, he won't. But let's see if he can catch up to Yoto at least. He has 13 laps to do so. So let's see.
I think he'll do it. It'll be interesting to see these two clash again. They had their clash towards the end of season 4, but let's see if they can do it here as well. Meanwhile, further up the field, Insane and JT have still been fighting, it seems, with Insane closing in on Slat as well. This is amazing
and
race.
Asta is gaining 1.8 out of turn 3. So Andy, I think, is struggling a bit with these arts. And Asta seems to have the better pace now.
Yeah.
Out on turn 4, he's gonna corner cut. So let's see the gap now. It's 1.7, so it's 2 tenths. And Andy is approaching Jasper. So let's look at the gap now. 1.7.
1.5 now. Could that be because
what blue flag for Jasper? So it's gonna move out of the way. That's fair play for him. And here comes Astro. He's gonna pass Jasper too. The gap is now 2.3. So Astro has lost some time there.
Could that be because?
But yeah, nothing is over. Oh, I think froze into the pits. That's a 2-stopper.
Interesting. Very
I think he's going to the softs. Let's look at the tires. He goes mediums. Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And now, actually, the group 4 P8 is catching the group 4 P4. So we might see a nine-way battle for P4. That's actually crazy.
That is very crazy. But then again...
Yeah, they actually code up. Ooh, Insane Sack. What happened to Insane Sack? He's gone straight on at turn 4. He's going to be down to P12.
Ouch. He was having such a good race as well.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. It's going to be wide also in turn 7. So I think he lost a bit of concentration here.
He must have.
Also, Astro is losing some ground. So now, the battle that was for P10 has become for P7. As Bacon is up to P7, Carson P8. So let's see if they can catch up to Dustin ahead. The gap is only 3 seconds.
With 11 laps if you include this one. So anything can happen.
So Insane Suck has had some control issues, same thing as Dad. And Jasper is gonna take another blue flag of 0 here. And here he goes, he's gonna let him pass. Asa is going into the 3-second barrier for the gap.
Mm.
So I think he's now struggling a bit with the arts.
Could we see another 2-stop here? I think we might.
Yeah, we had some early stoppers. Andy, like, for example.
Mm.
But I don't think he's willing to give up that lead
No, I don't think
for
he
a
will
risk
yet.
strategy.
No.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
actually, Bacons is catching up to Dustin.
I mean, it's not a big enough gap to justify a 2-stop from Andy. Now that I look at things as well, only 10
Ooh,
seconds.
mistake by Astro.
Ooh, this is probably the furthest Astro's been from. Ooh, another one.
Yeah, I think he's losing a ton of concentration here. 5 seconds.
Which could allow Zero to slowly start creeping up, maybe. He's still a way out yet, but if Astro keeps making mistakes, which hopefully he doesn't, because you don't want that for a driver, but Zero's only 4 seconds behind now.
Ooh, casting in some Bacons here. He's gonna have another chance of taking P7, yeah. Also, Dad has caught up to Yoto. Can he take a point? If he passes Yoto, it's gonna be P13, so he's gonna need another position. I think he can do it.
Dud does seem to have the better exit coming out of Sector 2, but we'll see. He manages to have a... Ooh, very wide. Very wide by Dud.
Yeah.
Almost taken a Brianza line.
Still losing ground.
But
I think it's gonna be 6 seconds, yeah.
Dud still manages to make a move on Yoto. So did Yoto make a mistake or?
Nah, I think he just passed him. Yoto has done a mistake now out of turn 1. And Fro is catching up behind, so he's the 2-stopper. And Zlat has got up to GTS. Actually, he was already there, so he didn't caught up, but he's still very close. And they're gonna have Jasper ahead. So I think Jasper is gonna move out there. Yeah, he does. Out into the grass.
I mean,
ooh, Insesaki is out of the race.
Oh
no, that's very bad for him. Yeah. So now Dad is in the points. So that's good for him.
Has Jesper just... For a second it looked like Jesper just stopped on the track. Meanwhile, Zero's less than 4 seconds from Astro. Will he be able to close that gap even more? And potentially take P2 in the opening race of
T1? Ooh, corner cut by Carson. Carson had just passed Bacons here, but he has corner cut it. So he's gonna do it all over again.
Could we see a fight for P7 here? With Ion not too far behind.
Yeah, I think he's gonna catch up with the fresher tires. So Carson needs to pull a move as fast as possible if he has more pace than Bacons to run away. Let's look out of turn 12. Carson slightly inside. He's gonna have a much better exit.
Yeah, much better.
On the straight here. And he's gonna pass already. So I think I have a bit of lag on my screen, but the classification is Carson into P7. Into turn 1, and Bacons is gonna pass back. Yeah. With a better turn 1, Bacons is gonna be up to P7, but Carson switcheroo into P.
Yeah,
he's gonna pass again.
Very nice. And very nice racing.
And now Dust and Yave are just behind them. So Carson needs to run away if he wants to keep that P7, or they're gonna come behind and have a 4-way fight for that P7. And Astley is still losing ground, 7 seconds. And Zero might have a chance of catching him if he keeps doing those mistakes. Also, let's look. Zlata is going up to P4. but GTS to the inside. Let's see, will he pass before the finish line? No, he won't, but let's look into turn 1. And Slat is gonna stay ahead for now. Let's look at GTS. Ooh, great line by GTS. And he's gonna pull ahead of him. Now, actually, Carson is doing what he needed to do. He is running away from Bacons, who has been passed by Yave. And Dustin has done a mistake, so now Carson has the chance of passing Dustin and take P6. So we have a 5-way fight for P6 now. As Slat has gone back into P4.
This is great racing now. JT and Slatters have been going at this for quite some time now. These two have been almost inseparable.
Yeah. Now Yoto is being passed by Fro. So Fro is still trying to do that comeback for the 2 stops. As now Carson is 1 second behind Dustin, and pretty much everyone is separated by 1 second for that P6 battle there. Except for Bacons. Bacons has gone down in P10, so I think Bacons is lacking a ton of pace right now. Let's see if he's gonna recover some of that. It's now... Ooh, Yaves passed Carson, but he's gonna corner cut. So he's going down to P8 again. And I think being approached by Dust. Let's see, Dust is gonna pass.
Dust
Yes.
makes a... Ooh, they both had not the most optimal line through that turn, but I think IO had a slightly better line.
Okay, let's look at Carson. He's very close to Dustin. Let's see if he can pass him. And down the chicane into the start finish straight. The gap is 1.1, so he's gonna have to slip him. And Slat and GTS are still battling. GTS has gone back into P4. Yoto is into the pits.
He must.
So he's gonna try to take the first lap.
Yeah. Understandable. At least get 1 point for your team.
The first lap is 3.1, so that's doable, surely. Yeah. With the softs. He goes to softs. So he's gonna try to snatch away 1 point from Andy, but he's not gonna get it because he's out of the points. So I think that's a bit of a strategy there. As Astu is catching back to Andy, 6 seconds.
He's managed to create a barrier between him and Zero, so he's no longer under direct threat. Well, he never really was, but he's not at risk anymore if he does make a mistake.
Yeah, now Carson is very close to Dustin. Half a second the gap. Let's see if he can pull that pass for P6. That's gonna be good points for him. Behind Dust and Yav are still battling. They're very close. And Bagels is actually falling back a lot. And that might have a chance of getting P10 there.
Quite possibly. He's not too far behind. He's just about in the slip of Doge, so it's doable.
Now let's look at... Actually, Carson has done a mistake now. He's gonna be approached by Yave and Dust. So we have a 4-way battle for P6. No, Carson corner cuts. So he's gonna lose some ground and positions. He's gonna be down to P9. And Yoto is going Papa in the first sector. Let's join on board with him. Really put the first lap of the race. It's looking good for him now. Great hairpin. Great at the sector 2 is gonna go green.
Let's see how.
And only the last sector.
Yeah.
Pretty clean. Not the best.
Not the best, but it wasn't the worst.
Yeah. Chicane. Clean. Let's look on the line. Is he gonna get the fast lap? Yes, he will.
does by quite a margin.
Yeah. Let's look back with the battle 4P6. And now Carsten is trying to gain back that place from Dust. And also Yave. And Dust is going slightly wide, but he will keep the position for now. And now, Yave is going slightly wide there. I'm not sure how much time he lost. Not much. As we are on the last lap of the race, white flag.
Could we see any?
Also, that is gonna pass Bacon's here. Yeah, I think he will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. Up to P11.
But Bacon's fights back, so
Still not over.
exactly. There's still 2 sectors to go. Oh, Dud, no! He's gonna fall out of the points completely.
Again, no. That's very unfortunate. As we have a very close battle for P6 here. Everyone separated by... as Andy wins the Czech Grand Prix, that's a dominating performance. Astro is gonna get P2.
Astro
Let's jump
P2.
back with the battle for P4 here. I think GTS has done it. That's
I
a
think
great
he has.
debut by him.
Great start by him.
Yeah, great pace. Let's look at the battle for P6. Carsten is very close to Dust. Will he pull a late move on the line? This is a photo finish. I think he's gonna keep it. Let's look on the line. He does keep it. So Dustin stays in P6. Yavisom is P7. Dust P8. Carsten P9. Dodge P10. MJ P11. Fro is gonna take the last point. P12. And that is finishing P13. And now Yoto and Jasper closing the finishers with a P14 and P15.
So all in all, we saw some great racing here.
Yeah, certainly very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if we can have some quick interview with the podium finishers.
Yes.
So a quick summary of the race. We have some pretty good battles. Everyone basically did that one stop medium to arts.
Mm-hmm.
Only Fro went for a 2-stop and Yoto to get the fast stop. So yeah, pretty nice first round here for the Division 1 championship. We saw some interesting pace, mainly for GTS. I'm very impressed by him. He did a great performance ahead of Slat, which I thought was going to be a bit higher, but still good race by him.
Mm-hmm. It was all in all, it was a very nice race all round. Lots of very close battles, lots of very nice racing that we saw all in all. And yeah, it was a shame that some people didn't get to finish, but at the same time, accidents happen or people get wound up, and that's just racing, I guess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let's try get Andy in here for an interview. My bad.
Yes. So I think we have already someone. Yeah, we have Slat. So let's... if Slat can join. So yeah, we have Slat.
Hello.
Hello, Slat Eyes.
So that P5 for you. What do you think about your race?
I thought the race was pretty good. I managed to hold off JTS for quite a while on old tires, so I'm pretty satisfied actually.
So if I'm right, Bacon's finishes P12. I'm not sure about it.
I think
So
he finished. I'm not. I think it was P12. Yeah.
so that's some points for you.
Yep.
Do you think you're surprised by anyone's performance today and what you can improve for the next rounds?
I was pretty surprised with JTS as well because he transitioned from D2 to D1 and he drove very well, and I think I could maybe improve on my quali pace because I was basically right at the back and I had to deal with all the dirty air. So yeah, I think I need to improve my quali a little bit more.
Thank you very much for joining and good job on the race.
Thank you.
So we're gonna go with the P2 here, Astro. Ciao.
Yes.
Oh,
Hello, Astro. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate you on jumping from P12 to P2. You had an amazing race.
yeah, thanks for that. I was really lucky that I was really lucky that I managed to get the slip and pass everyone by in the first few laps because if it wasn't for that, I definitely would have been stuck in the back.
I see. Um, looking back at your race, were there any moments where you thought maybe you could overtake Andy and potentially take the win?
Oh yeah, definitely. There was at one point where the gap was only 1.4 or 1.5, and I tried to overtake, but because the corner wasn't ideal, I decided to pull out. I wasn't risking a corner cut, but after that, I just kept pulling off, and my finger hurting didn't help.
That's understandable. um, looking back, like from where you started, do you think that, or did you see that happening at any point, like jumping from P12 to P2, or
Honest- Honestly, not at all. I expected to finish P6 like always, just like last season, but I was very lucky this time. I managed to get by.
I see. Well, thank you very much. You had a good day, and yeah,
All right, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
So last journal for today, zero. So I0.
Hello, Zero. Um,
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay muted.
apparently so. Um,
I think we can call it here then.
yes.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week at Flevo. It's Flevo next week,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. See you in 7 days time.